Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome architect Cecil Abbey.
Apologies. Oko, please. Apologies. I thought we were presenting on the metaverse, so sorry about that. I'm honored to make this presentation, and I must thank you all for your presence. Honorable Gisela Tete, it's good to see you. Thanks for all your wide words of wisdom. My president, Ivan Zanfo, as I listened to your speech, I kept on editing mine. Fellow colleagues, I stand once again very honored to address you on the future of the Institute and architecture in Ghana in person. I appreciate your laughter and your smiles, and it was just a while back ago that in a similar AGM, possibly AGM 1992, that if Oti Ajiman, the president at the time, had made a similar entrance with a mobile phone as his gadget for delivery, he would have received the same reaction. But today, no one is laughing. And just last year, I met a client at African Regent Hotel, a Ghanaian client. And when we met, he said, Cecil, why are we here? Why are we here? We could have met on the metaverse. And I said, the meta what? He said, the metaverse, yes. If we had an Oculus, you could have done this. All this thing, we could have done it on Microsoft Mesh. I was shocked. And this was a 65-year-old Ghanaian. What would the 20-year-olds be asking for? So in this light, I have come to ready myself with the metaverse. We started out with mobile phones. Today I'm wearing Oculus. Looks like a joke. 2052, what will we be wearing? Glasses? So I know that in 2052, just when I had started taking professional pictures of myself for Facebook, I now have to create an avatar of myself. So the avatar you see is Cecil 2052. It sounds interesting and funny, but someone is taking that seriously. Zuckerberg, he has created an avatar for himself. He's going on the metaverse. He says he's now becoming what? Meta, not Facebook anymore. My dear colleagues, the future is upon us, and daily do we see strides in life, technology, thought, and politics that we never thought would come so fast. Every day I'm reminded how fast change is occurring, and how a simple legislation and rezoning can totally wipe out any thought of you being a futuristic architect. This is a building in airport. It was built in airport 2006, and I know the architect. And I know at the time he thought he was a pioneer on the road. He was the first one to build 4 levels of an apartment block, broke down an old building, amidst a lot of strife and the like, and neighborhood concern and AMA and, so much turmoil. The building eventually came up. Many years down the line, that's the building. And it's not a tall story building, it's the building in the corner. Same road. That architect thought he was futuristic, he thought he was thinking far, Incidentally, that architect was me. And today I drive around Accra and I see buildings that were put up 15 years ago, 20 years ago, earmarked for demolition. It's changing so fast. Formerly, they told us that 50 years and everything changes. Now, 15 years, things are changing. My fellow colleagues, let's take a sneak peek into the future, 2052, and look into the life of an average Ghanaian architect. Your firm has had to borrow a private jet from one of its sister firms to travel to Egypt because yours has gone for servicing. Together with a few colleagues, it's the first time you have been able to attend a rare in-person meeting for this year's prestigious Global Architects Award. You anticipate victory for some of your collaborations that you have been involved in. A 5-acre underground eco-bunker you did in the north of Mali. As the plane takes off, your virtual assistant reminds you that today is the final decision date on the A-levy rate, the architect's levy. Due to the past radical transformation in the Ghana built environment and the excellence of Ghanaian architects at home and abroad, Ghanaian architects have been inundated with work from all over the globe. In this light, the tax authorities of the day have had to restructure their tax bracket and appreciate how to tax architects for living locally but working globally. Is this tax rate on cryptocurrency the same as physical currency, your accountant asks? After a pleasant ride, you receive a text from your lawyer in Switzerland asking for more code and ethics information towards your defense against a client suit in Japan, saying that although your project met the standards in wellness design, 2 people have said your design was culturally insensitive and agitated by the beauty of it. Can you imagine? All die be die. You remember one past president's phrase. So that's what happens when we're able to create this in Ghana. Tamale 2022, will we be able to create this 2052? These are some of the questions that we have to ask ourselves. We're definitely in an era of mega, and there are some predictions about mega. They say that populations are expected to grow from 7 billion to 9.9 billion in 30 years. Cities that are now 4.3 billion inhabited and represent 55% will add 2.5 billion people more to represent 75% of people living in cities. Resources, they say if we continue, resources will run out in 20 years and we have to colonize planets. There's a reason why people are rushing to space, isn't it? Climate, global greenhouse gas emissions projected to increase by 50%. Role of the private sector will be influential and provide almost 90% of jobs in the world. Definition of health will be healthy buildings and healthy people. Buildings, no more rigid structures, but adaptable spaces without significant building modification. Work, a global competition for talent and the rise of the gig economy of flex time and work from anywhere. Technology, industrial robots, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Values focus on ESGs, environmental, societal, and governance issues. If I make a mistake with English, remember that I'm an architect, I'm not an English major. At the epicenter of all this are buildings, how they are constructed, how they are designed, and the effect they have on the climate. So this period offers us mega opportunities and mega challenges. Another project, NEOM, started not too long ago, and the state of Saudi Arabia has already pledged, 500 billion for it. And they want, artificial rain, an artificial moon, dinosaurs, robotic maid servants, and that's it. And they're building it. It all seems amazing that, are we really in this time? But more and more we see that, yes, that's what's happening. So these mega changes are happening, and they're happening all over the globe. Hopefully, my presentation will serve as an initiator of further dialogue into the future. Technology will creep into our lives whether we like it or not, but it's rather our mindset and positioning that has to be prepared to harness all the opportunities. As your architects, I'll do my best to present a sketch design, and you can go home and do the working drawings yourselves. Yeah. So the future is a limitless place of imagination and possibilities. So for this short presentation, once again, a true architect, I developed a concept to restrain myself to speak along a few points that are covered by the name Future GIA. And that's my concept is Future GIA. So I'm sounding a call to arms for the Future GIA. The first one, fellows. If you went to tech, you say charge. But there's a different kind of fellows. And the first one is fellows demystified. I listened to President Evans' presentation, and I said, you don't know what I have coming for you. And I resonated with it. For me, fellows and past executives represent an illustrious group within our institute, and we believe you have a duty to share your rich experience now rather than later. You have to take the lead to be demystified and empty yourselves of all your experiences. You have to be recorded, interviewed, and books written about you. We know that history repeats itself. And so you can't silently watch us battle, with battles that you have already fought, and only tell us about them when we come to you with our wounds. All past presidents must be mandated to write a book about their lives and their time in office, starting with our Honorable SM Korte. I feel very passionate about this demystification and appreciate that a lot can be built up on this aspiration. I went to the GIA website. I counted 24 or so presidents. There was only one that had a Wikipedia about him. The rest, nothing. But today I learned that you got the Frank Lloyd Wright Award, and I know tidbits of what you've done. I feel that is something that we have to look into. So it's your call to arms to also write books that will inspire a Ghanaian Odate or Akosua to do architecture and change the world. The living legend in architecture, Tado Ando, he just saw a book when he was 16 of Le Corbusier, and the rest is history. So how many more people can we influence, Honorable, with your story when you leave office? Or President SM Korte, your style and your way. The next one is unanimous involvement and participation. We always talk about architects, but we are more than just, the institute is made up of more stakeholders. And once again, my senior past colleague and president said similar things, that we need unanimous support for the GIA as an unbiased institution that is in place to support our changing needs in this era of constant change and complexity, and a watchdog for its members over its affairs. We have to be ready to face the harshest adherence to professional standards, expectations, and receive constructive criticism in-house. That will save us against the perils as we shine to the outside world. Criticisms within our ranks will allow us to be built to our best and protect us from becoming victims. When you look at two athletes, there are different training requirements for an Olympic athlete and a local athlete. Some in the institute want to be local champions, some want to be global. If we mention institutes that we admire, RIBA is more or less the first one that we'll talk about, the harshest standards, adherence, and that's why they can be exported all over the world, global. Anytime a British architect shows up and says RIBA is respected, are we also going to think that way going into 2052? So our value contributions and our relevance as Ghanaian architects and the institute must be unanimous, all-encompassing, and must never take for granted to live our mandate. Technology, technology, technology. 2052, and Mr. President Evans, I know you said 60 years, but I'm trying to do 30 years because I want to be around, in the next 30 years. So, artificial intelligence. I'm sorry. 60s. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, immersive technology, augmented reality are some of the realities that technology will bring. There's land for sale on the metaverse. There's a 3D city. There are 3D cities, really. Digital currency, bitcoins, NFTs. The presentation of tomorrow will involve AI, robots, holograms, simulations, all sorts. Your client will come to you and say, okay, this is the avatar of my family or my corporate structure, or the people who use the building. Can you simulate a movie for us? And we'll watch how we interact within the space and the like to understand you better. This Oculus will be played by children. Drones. I mean, now all sorts of 5-year-olds are playing with drones. Technology is coming much, much faster than we imagined. And it's for us to embrace it. Imagination is key, and our future as design professionals will definitely change and allow us to retell old stories in different ways. You know, some of you will now become virtual tour guides in Ghana. Maybe some high schoolers from rural Idaho architecture school. You lead them through the sights and sounds of Mokola Market, take a lunch break in the tranquil environment of Ibri, and complete the day walking through Yana's palace. The opportunities are endless. That's the future. With the proliferation of low-cost wearable technologies, our clients, who are becoming more and more knowledgeable, can also check the performance of a building and determine whether your brief has met their standards or not. So knowledge will be used for us and against us. The call to arms is to place technology highly as a standard in our service delivery and look for strategic ways to be abreast with the times, irrespective of the costs involved. Our conditions of engagement must reflect the new norms in service delivery and appreciate the new demands of our service that technology brings. Architects must seize the moment and start designing intelligent buildings that respond to the environment and space. They must be more daring, more daring, venturing into edgier, imaginative realms that transcend that production of space and material experience. The world keeps on asking for more when it gets to technology. Just when you think that you've got enough, then we ask for more. And we're all like that. We're all very impatient with life as it is. We keep on asking for more from our mobile phones. Mine is a camera, it's a recorder, it's a this, iPhone 3, iPhone 13, 14, 15, XL. But when the spotlight is put on us and our service delivery, then we start to shy away. But that's what technology is there for. You're supposed to use that as a tool. So we have to be more daring going forward and come away from the norms. Are you going to be an architect also going to design some of the dinosaur enclosures for the Neom city in Dubai? So with that, we need unlimited, uninhibited, unimpeded understanding of our profession. The depth of our understanding must be deepened to prepare for the innovations to come. There's always this talk about competition and barriers to entry from other people into Ghana and how they're taking our jobs and the like, but when your understanding is deepened, there's no fear about competition. And I think Honorable Gisela mentioned it earlier when she said, yes, when you have the right solutions, when you show that you really understand what you are professing, you'll be listened to. But when you seem shallow, weak, copycat, it won't happen. So in this world of technology and so many innovations, you know, there's a demand on us, on society, for architects to provide solutions to changing life's demands. We are being asked to be more than architects. We are demanded to be abreast and integrated with other allied professionals as we deliver holistic solutions that tick the boxes of expectations. A case in point, designing for mental health and well-being. My dad was a psychiatrist. I never imagined that I'll have to go and speak to him and say, okay, Daddy, how does a building affect mental health and so on and so forth? But today, we realize that that is what is being asked of us. Architecture has transcended just the provision of a roof over your head. And we're being asked to be more in-depth. So, there must be virtual public engagement in our projects to boost that transparency, trust, and to benefit the general public in years to come. We need to explore various niches in architecture and how we can establish ourselves as authorities in various fields as global trends move towards specialized design. R, and we had relevant research and development. And once again, Mr. President said it. We must encourage the sponsorship and support of research and development in architecture. And architects who choose to enter this same profession must be encouraged and recognized for their contributions. We have a wealth of research, but possibly we have failed to bring them together. Books, journals, and findings must be publicized to inform a relying public and design practitioners on new analysis and new findings that pertain. It is through that research that solutions will be found to future problems and mistakes of the past will not be repeated. A case in point is the current trends in flooding. Everybody's talking about flooding. And when you send the pictures, now it seems to be a norm. People laugh about them. People make jokes about them. But it's like we've accepted that, yeah, Accra floods. And sadly, I was looking through graphic, a 50-year celebration, and I saw 50 years ago is, Tony, you will know, 1960-something, Accra floods. It seems as if we've accepted it. But interestingly, people are saying that the floods are due to a mixture of traditional, societal, political, changing lifestyle issues that have occurred over the years and built up. However, climate change and rising sea levels are a major concern of the future, and floods happening both locally and globally are partly in consequence of the changes in weather pattern. This discussion is lost, and some try to make it a political thing. It's only architects with our mindset and our holistic appreciation of life and the world that we can bring these things up so that we look at holistic solutions. So it's through this research that the Ghanaian architect can stay relevant and competitive. And after this research is done, we have to prepare to develop our firms from the one-man business into fully integrated firms with allied professionals that will give a multidisciplinary approach with integrated and licensed software that will allow for the seamless support and delivery of solutions to many of these challenges we face in Ghana and the African continent. I was doing a project in Senchi, and two projects side by side. Senchi is by the lake, and we wanted to site our building. One client on the left said he had lost a property in Pram Pram before because of the rising sea, the tide. So he was wondering what would happen in that place. A friend came over, took some drone shots, and they predicted the weather pattern and the drainage and all sorts for the next 40 years. And we need these kind of integrations to be able to do our work well. With all respect to who we are and how we practice, we seem to be a bit narrow-minded, as the years have gone by. And it comes from also the amazing foundation that was set by our leaders. Architects were held in high esteem. In the past, they were seen as prophets, they were seen as priests. So they were in a rarefied space. But now we have to allow for that inclusion from all these allied bodies so that we can come up with our holistic submissions to bring about our solutions. We cannot stop at identifying the issues, but we must be a respected body of knowledge that has the analysis, data, facts, and figures, and is ready and prepared to solve them holistically. We must be a clear voice of solutions as we contribute to nation building. Education, academic, professional, and societal. There are all sorts of branches in architecture that are opening up with new demands on personnel and requirements. We need to be actively involved in the curriculum. At this juncture, let me give an idea of the syllabus of the future, called from topics that have been featuring at various institutes around the world. Spatial justice, accessibility, and sustainability, wellness and mental health, carbon footprint and healthy buildings, impactful building, adaptability of building, and resilience of spaces, smart cities, homes, cars, and smart integration, climate change adaptation, design energy simulation, zero carbon buildings and campuses, climate adaptation and regenerative cities, renewable materials and energy resource efficient design, creating safer communities, trauma-informed design, firm insurances, healthcare, pension and legacy planning, how to design in foreign countries, which was interesting, health challenges for the modern-day architect, extreme architecture and integral design in extreme environments. Did any of you do this in school? Or those in school, Central, I heard there was some Central. Are you doing that in school? These are the topics that practitioners, professionals are talking about. Architects all over the world are relying on their institutes to be cutting edge and ahead of the curve in information. Will we be getting architects to fill these demands going forward, these demands on us from society and our calling? Our institute has the unique opportunity to maintain the dialogue going forward, and continuous education must be greatly encouraged, targeted, relevant, and delivered at every opportunity. The institute must continue to look for resource people amongst its ranks and beyond to keep us abreast in this ever-changing world of service delivery. It's impossible for one firm to have experience across all these kind of topics, and these are just a few. And it must further continue to expand its wealth of knowledge with libraries, data, and the periodic journals of information. When I saw the library, I said, Ivan said it. And before this presentation, I tried to speak with President Evans. I wasn't able to. And it's just humbled me and surprised me how we have resonated on what we're talking about. Ghana, our beloved motherland. I thought the speaker gets water or something. There's no water on the metaverse. Ghana. We must become Ghana experts. And I like the term bankers use, KYC. My sister is a banker. KYC, know your client, know your client. And we must appreciate how culture and society is changing due to technology. We need more appreciation and understanding of how much the Ghanaian local and in the diaspora has evolved and will keep evolving going into the future. We must respond in that light and not be limited in our assumptions of our clients. The elderly lady in the north is as conversant with a touchscreen iPad, thank you very much, as an executive in Accra. And she's also looking forward to interactive walls to be installed in her hut one day. Accra is not Ghana. But much more, we must seek to be experts in this beautiful country and its people and tell our own story. This next AGM must be elsewhere. I think, Evans, once again, it's like I'm copying your presentation. But you said it, you touched on it as well. We should go around. The fact that we don't have architects in Tamale, or just for an example, or any other region for that matter, doesn't mean we can't go there and organize a meeting like this. A lot more architects know Accra, New York, or Accra, London than Ghana. We feel we know Ghanaians, but every time we are surprised at what so-called internationals and outsiders introduce onto the market, and Ghanaians accept, and we say, oh, we didn't know, we didn't think. So after 60 years as architects, it's for us to reevaluate whether we really understand our clients and we know our country. There are amazing places in Ghana, and it's sad to go to some remote parts and the only architect that has been there is a foreigner. Books have been written about Ghana. We're not part of that dialogue. So, the unique Ghanaian identity must not be lost into the future. We must preserve and integrate it going forward, enhance and not destroy our heritage. We must also appreciate the evolution and growing knowledge of the Ghanaian client and the unique solutions to their problems. Internationally inspired, but culturally sensitive. Technology now exists to translate all our concepts and ideas into local languages and increase our profession's relevance. You know, that seems to be one of the barriers, that architects may be elitist. We are taught in English. We can't go down to the local level. And once again, it goes to understanding. If we are positioned in that way, we'll be limited in our scope of work. And are we working only in Ghana? Won't we be working in Ivory Coast or in Congo? Won't we go back to Liberia, Sierra Leone? Because of technology, we don't have a barrier with language anymore. But charity begins at home. So let's reawaken our specialization in our client, Ghana. We have to be intentional in having an international mindset and integration with the community. Like I shared in our dream of the average client, average architect, you are living locally, but you are working globally. And global thinking with empathy with our environment and our culture. We have to engage with the larger world through collaboration and strategic alliances. What is our global positioning and our unique selling proposition as Ghanaian architects? Are we also going to be known as a Ghanaian architect? We practice architecture with hospitality and then we smile. Is that what we're known for? Ghana, the land of hospitality, then architect hospitality. Or we are known for much more. I was talking to a Singaporean counterpart, and he said, so you know us, we have the lowest cost and the highest level of specification and technical skills on any project. That's why we work around the world. How are we positioning ourselves? Live local but think global is what is expected from our clients. The world wants to see Ghana and how Africa influences our architecture, not a bad imitation of other countries. They want to understand the logic behind building in clay, why we employ courtyards in our traditional designs, the influences that history has had on our architecture and society. Aside from that, we need to clearly let the world know we are ready for international standards in our work. We will not be accepted at the global stage if we fail to do so. With increased globalization and importation around the world, engaging in numerous competitions around the world opens an avenue for us to showcase our projects through digital technologies, digital renditions, and 3D animation, and also push that unique cultural influence. This will definitely boost the image of Ghanaian architects in the global market. And the participation of exhibitions, competitions, and conferences must not be or cannot be overemphasized in this light. And we must be visible, and our voices must be loud and clear. So going forward, we need a unique selling proposition when it comes to the international scene. The Ghanaian architect has to be positioned as an exportable commodity of excellence going forward across the country, across the continent, and even the world. There are institutes and there are people and there are professionals that are known for, when you want project managers, go to these guys. When you want detail, go to this. When you want construction excellence, what are we being known for? It's heartwarming to know that we started at the top. Are we still there internationally? I'm on to my last A. Now we spelled future GIA, awards and recognition. I was told by one lawyer some time ago, he said, Cecil, if thou sayest not, I am, who will say you are? We have to recognize effort amongst us with awards. We have to recognize talent of young and old, students, practitioners, our collaborators. If we do not record our excellence, what benchmark are we setting for future architects to follow? So there's a list of awards that I listed out. And these are all, hopefully they'll come before 2052. but you can have a look at some of them. Some of them are President of Ghana Award for Architecture, President of GIA Student Award, the Annual Regional Architecture Prize, the Usu Ado Award in Architecture, the Jonah Award in Architecture, the Small Firm Award, the Large Firm Award, Developer of the Year Award, Contractor of the Year Award, Client of the Year Award, GIA Engineer of the Year Award, Architect of the Year Award, GIA Impact Award. Are we afraid to award, to see excellence in the things we say and do? Are we afraid to project it out there? Are we trying to tell everybody that we're one and all the same, that the worst of us can be equal to the best of us? It's interesting that the first president of the Ghana Institute of Architects was Theodore Clark, 1909 to 1965. And it said, he was the first formally trained, professionally certified Ghanaian architect and an award-winning urban planner who designed and planned and developed the harbor city of Tema. He won the Rutland Prize. The other 23, nothing. It's just like their presidents, which I know is not true. It's totally not true, but it's not documented. It's not there for us to be inspired by. So we must look into this. And so with this last call to arms, I'll respectfully break protocol and ask Julian for my books. It's rather David, so that no one calls you Julian. I'll respectfully break protocol, and in the spirit of practicing what I preach, I'll present 3 awards. The first award is to, and no one is supposed to come. The first award is, so this is the Abbey Award, the Abbey Architecture Award. It's to my firm for supporting me all these years. You guys are great. So that's 3rd place. 2nd place is to my current president's brother and friend, SM Kwate. I think he should be known as a pandemic president for an excellent job and still maintaining his swag throughout all this time. And with this last award, I would like to make to someone who I've watched grow into what he dreamt of becoming, and yet despite his aspirations, humbly serve at the expense of personal and professional loss. In recent times, he has made such significant strides in the Institute, and without him, I doubt I would even be allowed to consider going on to the metaverse. Without much ado, I will call on the stage Augustine Richardson. Please come up and receive the Cecil Abbey Architect of the Year Award. And for me, it's that easy. There's institute level, there's local level. The young people around you, around the auditorium today, nothing stops you from cornering architect Tony and saying that, can we have lunch? We've gone through your website. We want to award you as a Tema champion in architecture. But we can't keep silent about excellence. We keep on referring to RIBA. And when you go to the RIBA website, awards, every year. Our clients can't just think that, oh, architect, you went to tech, that's all. Or now it's central, No. So we have to look into that. My dear colleagues, there are many questions to be asked going forward. And okay, you can add this to your resume that you want. There are many questions to be asked going forward, and the key issue worth highlighting is this, and this to all of us. How do we combine the meticulous attention to detail and the experience of the older generation on one hand, with the innovation, enthusiasm, and technological advantages of the new generation. How do we do that? Do we see ourselves as a shining light of hope to transform our built environment? That is seen in the work we do, sensitive, engaged, and appreciative of our fellow Ghanaians as we deliver our projects. Are we positioned well enough for that? Do we gain space at the table? Do we go to the forefront of the African Renaissance when it comes to the continent once again? We start and then we stop and lag behind and allow others to take over and just sit back looking? Those of the past and we of the present, we would like to say that, yes, we are stating our claim. But what happens to the future? Those of you in the future, can you promise that in the next 30 years, you'll be here? And I see a lot of faces looking at me and planning to ask questions and writing things down. David, you can't ask any questions. But all I have to say is this. The only way to define the future is to create it. That was said by Lincoln. So it's not for me to tell you. It's for us to decide this is what we want. These are the dreams we have. These are the aspirations. And to create it. Like people in Saudi Arabia or Dubai. I'm sure majority of you have been to Dubai. Created in 30 years from sand. And today, you're all going to take selfies there. Are we also going to boldly say the same? Or will be apologetic about it? We won't dream. We won't be edge. We won't think out of the box. And that's another thing for your generation. There's no more out of the box thinking. You don't make that statement anymore. You replace the box. That's your generation. You replace it. And I make a call to the young architects of today. You know, we have run the race, and it was at this point that I knew that this presentation had transcended just reading and writing and research. Evans mentioned the baton race. He said that it's a baton race. And it's the same thing I'm also going to say. It's a baton race. The past has run, set the foundations. The present appreciated its limitations, but still moving on. The future, we have planned it, we have dreamt it, and we're passing it on to another generation. It's interesting that he said it, but I actually brought a baton. And that's what we want to say. We want to dream. I actually bought a baton because this is how I see it. The picture you have here is someone you all know, Usain Bolt. Now I'm digressing a bit, but I like sports. Usain Bolt is 6'5". He's a basketball. He has a basketball height. You know, he defies the traditional 100-meter athlete. 6'5". When everyone is serious and focused and thinking about how to, psych themselves, he's fooling around and joking, and you all know the antics he does. But what does he do? He breaks records. So this guy, who doesn't look like the guy who should be a 100-meter champion and even break records or behave like one, he does. And you all know what happens when he takes the baton. So I ask all you young people, when we pass you that baton, will you also break the records? You don't look like the Honorable President Ivan Zamfun. The graceful, Honorable Gisela. You look like things we've never seen before. But it's possible you will break the records. You will take that baton and run. And that's the belief and hope that we have for you. So today, I stand in the footsteps of many before me. Evans, I keep on mentioning. SM is a brother. Eso Afram, my professor, there's never a day I don't remember him. And countless many of you who have worked with me, worked for me, collaborated with me, and influenced me. I even have my sister in the audience who held my hand to tech 30 years ago. There's an African proverb which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And the youth, I'll end with this. This is breaking news in the UK, 12th April 2022. And after 1908, 1900, 100, after 122 years, the British have allowed for the signage at one of their tube stations, Westminster, to be changed. And who changed it? Larry Achampong, Ghanaian. What did he change it with? Ghana colors and black stars, and he said yes, 54 countries in Westminster, and they loved it. He didn't imitate the British. He didn't imitate the French. Ghanaian. Rasta. Architect. Achampong. And they've accepted it. Doesn't it come the same way with our architecture? Can't we resonate with that? So, in that light, I charge that after 60 years, there has to be a change. It may be well ruled, but I think we have to make a change. All the multi-billion-dollar companies in the world are making changes to tell people that we have a new brand identity. We have a new way of looking at the world. We have a new way at engaging. So we thank those of 1962 for their logo, but for me, that's where it starts. So, my dear colleagues, the future is exciting, and we can meet this future squarely together. Let us once again appreciate the efforts of the past, the present, and the future initiatives that the GIA has achieved. Let's build on it. Let's associate with it. Let's dream about it. And with that spirit of positivity and belief that daily we give to our clients. Every day our clients come to us, I always say, with plain paper. And we dream, and one day the building is up. It's time to apply that capability to ourselves. And without a doubt, whether in person, virtual, or in the metaverse, together we can and we will go very, very far. May God bless the GIA. May God bless Ghana. And may God bless us all. Thank you.